right, what's up? Good morning. It's Cowboy. It is now 8:32 a.m. EST. Zap the QR code on the top right-hand side of the screen if you want to see what we do. We help people become traders. That's what we do. We help you build a trading method, otherwise known as an algorithm. You don't have to know how to code or anything like that. Most people at Algo Factory are trading manually, but we're helping people do some pretty big things. We'll get into more of that later. Let's get right into the charts right now. We've got Bitcoin here. You can see that a few days ago, I think it was actually yesterday, the day before, I felt that really I calculated that Bitcoin would bounce off of this 66,000 price, would come back up, grab liquidity, and then head back down. And it did it a little sooner than I thought it would. And it didn't go quite as far as I thought it would. So instead of heading all the way up to here, Bitcoin actually did this, stopped right here at about 66.5 instead of 66,750. It has gone down as predicted. So with this, we're able to go ahead and grab some data and see what might happen next. Okay. And by the way, if you have questions, go ahead and ask them. If you're watching on YouTube or X or anything, you should be able to ask questions in the comment section. So if there's a chart you want to see, just go ahead and ask for it. Okay, so let me go ahead and zap the take a quick look at the algos here. A little bit of bearishness in the near term. That's on the daily, so price still wants to head down a bit. Let's see what the weekly is saying. I'll let the computer catch up just a little bit here. Okay. So all this stuff you see on the screen, this is all data that I use to determine what might happen next with Bitcoin. In high time frame, the algos are always bullish with Bitcoin, almost always. But on the weekly, which is still a higher time frame, although not as high as the monthly, there does appear the need to pull back a little bit, the need to catch its breath. And the last I looked on liquidity charts, we had liquidity down at 59,000. And then we had some a little bit higher here at 66.9. Now, those may or may not still be there. In fact, let's jump over to the Kingfisher to see where the liquidity sits right now, because liquidity is a good indication as to where price may go next. Okay. And this is the kingfisher.io. Many ways to use this site. This is a really good site for many things, but we're just going to use it today for its liquidity function. So this is going to tell us where a lot of the liquidations are on the leveraged game, on the perpetuals. We have a little bit sitting at about 61.8, but again, most of it is sitting right at about 59. Actually, 58.8 is really where it is. And then we have a couple of nodes up high, 65.4 and 66.7. So let's see if we can go ahead and mark those on, and we'll go to the 3-hour chart for that. Actually, we'll go to the daily. 3 hour. 3 hours good. All right. Okay. So 58.8 is really where it is. We'll move that to where it goes. And then what did we say for the upside? We had 65.350, 66.7. Okay, there we are. And the 66.7 is actually still there. So now, in order to grab this, the charts would actually have to call for a move up, right? So even though these liquidations are there, the algos would still have to call for a move up or the price action. And that's just how we do this, right? So at the moment, on all these charts, it does look like price wants to grind down a bit. While it might pull up, it is possible price could pull up and grab some liquidity sitting right here, but it looks like it'll probably, excuse me, Sorry about that. It looks like it'll probably head down. Really, for the next large move, will be downwards. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at something like this. It might happen differently. There's a decent chance it just grinds down and does not even go up and grab that liquidity. Right now, the charts are rather bearish. Short term bearish, mid-term bearish. To be honest, the even the daily and the weekly do have some indications of wanting to head down. The 3 hour does have a little bit of a resistance to the downside, but not really. I am expecting mostly downward, and at this time, just looking at the charts, I would venture to guess that 59,000 is pretty realistic. Of course, if we look back here, and this is on the weekly chart, this is a high time frame chart that we're looking at right now. That price was held at numerous times at about 59,000, 60,000. Nearly every time price got down there, it was held to the upside. And many of my cohorts at Algo Factory, students, fellow traders, think that price will want to head back down to even grab that 56,000 low, which is actually way down here. That can happen. It's possible, but right now the liquidity is sitting at 58.8, and that's where most of it is. There is liquidity at 56 and even lower at 53 and even lower at 50. So price could go down to grab all of these. And at this point, look, I'm always looking at the past, right, to see what might happen. How did price behave before, right? Well, each halving, price pulled back a bit, and then it headed up. And we've seen a pullback to 56. The real question is it done pulling back? Right now, it does look like price will pull back a little bit more, but the real question is, was 56 the low? Could price just pull back down to about 60 and then get pushed back up? And time will tell. And I'm not that worried about forecasting out that far, because when I trade, I'm trading level by level, right? For example, if I were to look for a trade right now, I might look for some kind of a pullback to the upside and then grab a short, maybe up to here, and then grab a short down to that 58,000-ish level. That might be the way to go, right? I probably would take profit sooner just because of how many times price rejected at that 60,000. But the kind of trade I would look for would be right here, something like this. Now, price might not go up that high. Price may not be able to pull back that far. That's a beautiful trade if it does. And again, I would be taking a lot of profit off right here before the bottom of this range, right? Because that's a pretty well established range. Some would have the range even be a little bit lower than this. Some would, and I'm not saying they're wrong. Maybe a range down to about here, something like that. That's reasonable. There's a lot of price bouncing though, right here at 60,600. So I probably would take profit before that, but I might leave on for extended targets, because if the move down is strong enough, it's probably going to want to go all the way down to 58,800. Got some questions here. Nelius Njururi, where do you think ultimately bottom for this downtrend? Okay, kind of answering that right now. Nelius, I'm actually not worried about ultimately the bottom for this downtrend. It doesn't concern me, because I am looking to trade it. Now, I have two things I do with cryptocurrency, right? The vast majority is going to be holding, buying and holding. If I think that the true bull cycle is over, then I'm going to, see if I can rotate a lot of that into, something else more stable, maybe Tether, maybe something like that. But always there's going to be like, say, 10% of my crypto that I'm going to do a lot of trading with and try to have that grow alongside. And that's where I'm doing these kind of trades. So where it ends up doesn't matter. I trade it level by level. And right now, the levels I'm really concerned with are going to be really these levels within this range. Now, if price breaks below this, right, then that's another trade altogether. I might have a smaller, lower time frame trade to go down to wherever that liquidity is. And if price breaks below that, then I'm going to look for a trade that might be, down past this level right here, and perhaps to this level right there. And I'll trade. I'll do level by level by level. And whether price is heading down or up, I'm going to use the price action and also algos to give me some clues to try to do as best I can, winning those trades. And then over time, so far in history, Bitcoin has just done nothing but go up over time. So holding crypto over that amount of time has been very profitable. So good. Well, we are now at the end of the live session. Thank you all for joining us here. You can see the QR code on the top right-hand corner. You can zap that to take you over to algofactory.tech. And what we do is we help people become traders. If you are already a trader, we can help you become a better trader. Basically, what we do is help you build a trading method. And that could be with price action, although we tend to use indicators stacked to build algorithms. And the algorithms give you a bit of an edge, right? The price action trading is great, and you can just make an entire career out of that. You don't have to use any indicators to be successful. We even have tools for that, but we are able to help you either way build the trading method, test it, and the most important thing is the trading psychology, because you can have that perfect method, but if your trading psychology is not there, there's a really good chance you're just going to lose. And it doesn't matter how good your trading method is. There is the entirety of making sure your mind is right. Otherwise, you're just going to panic. And I've seen the best traders panic. I've been that trader. Every single trader who trades for a living has been the trader that panicked. It's just a part of the deal. And you got to go through that at some point. So come on over, algofactory.tech, and do not forget,
join us or die.